Oh, she's still. Oh, she's right there. Hi. Well then. Hello. Caught you in the middle of a meal.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Don't we all?
What prevails in the end, I wonder? The desire for blood, or to be of service to man?
Spare me your
How about both?
sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
No need to apologize, my lady. I know exactly what you endure.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to
Well,
say
I
I'm
mean,
trifling embarrassed.
when you work as a nurse in a
I have
hospital, you're gonna come
concluded my
across
inquiries
people.
concerning your blackmail.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, permanently. You will not be bothered anymore by the woman.
And who was this woman?
If you must know,
Dorothy Crane.
she worked under my employ as Nurse Crane. But I'll wager that's not what will be written on her gravestone.
You killed her. Is that
Yes.
what you consider discretion and diplomacy, Dr. Reed?
I did what I thought was best, and acted.
I mean, she was also running a makeshift clinic that was not doing very well to help the people they were trying to help. They didn't have everything they needed,
Not induced me to offer you my support.
and I kind of felt like she needed to go, and then the guy had to go because he was going to end up finding her eventually, and I didn't like the guy's attitude, so...
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Yes.
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stone?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
Nice.
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
Good to know, good to know.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27.
Good to know. I'm only...
I've been 27 for a long time now.
Well, I'm 26.
27 I shall remain.
I'm 26. Can we keep me at 26 for the rest of my life?
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
Could be, could be.
A lady has to have some secrets.
I mean, I think everyone's entitled to at least having some secrets.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
Yes.
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scum.
What type of vampire is a scar?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires.
Interesting.
It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
Yes, I guess they're like mutts. Not a pure-blood vampire.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then.
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
Interesting.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity?
No.
It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, because the last thing you heard was a man spewing a type of poetry that I kind of liked.
And I'm no fool.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
We had the pleasure of being bitten by a elder vampire, one that's well versed in the vampirism.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice.
Yeah, because apparently you were walking, then you were bitten, and then you woke up in a body pit, a mass grave.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
Yeah, there's quite a few ways of that. Some say the person who's bitten has to want to be a vampire truly at heart, otherwise the bite would just kill them. So there's quite a few ways that this lore goes on and on. It gets deeper and deeper. It's a big rabbit hole, and if you're interested, I would recommend you look into it, because it's very deep and very convoluted, and I like it.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's also a way too, is that, like in the original 1931 Dracula cut open a vein in his arm and made Mila drink. So you can see where that comes from.
Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an echo, and that you shall remain.
It's a vampire. And vampire, I believe, was coined by Bram Stoker. Maybe older than that, but he made them mainstream by writing Dracula.
So we are echoes. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires, but all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Are you an econ too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
Well, I'm still going to call you just vampire, because it's easier for me to understand. So, I don't want to know more about London.
Farewell. For now. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Yes, before we killed Nurse Crane, we lost one of our patients. That she was working on at that makeshift medical clinic. That was another reason for my justification for killing Nurse Crane. The clinic she was running was so low on supplies, and she only had so much stuff that no patient that went there would have the best chance of survival. And she couldn't see that, so... And I had the option to let her live, but have her resign from her post as a nurse here at the hospital. But I think she's the kind of nurse where I don't think she would stop, and then even if she did resign from this hospital, she'd still work at that clinic. More people would die there, so get rid of her and the man she was working with. The clinic has no one to operate it. No one would dare go there. Because you won't go to a clinic that doesn't have any employees. I need to sample things. If I can figure out how to do such a thing. Blood. We've made a light blood serum. Regenerate 60 blood points instantly. Nice, nice.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scouts. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
I mean, it very well could be. I mean, we've all been calling this the Spanish flu, but could there be a connection between the flu and the vampire epidemic? Because within this game, London's got two different epidemics going on. There's the vampire epidemic, and then there's the flu epidemic.
It's locked, all right.
Dr. Swansea. I must have a word with you, Doctor.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
Oh, we got a story for you, sir.
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a
Well,
lot we're
I
not
mean-
seeing here, but it is spreading and quickly. If we
Yeah,
don't
if you've
act,
been-
the whole city could be lost.
If you did all the running around that I've done, you would see that.
Fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
Well...
And why not? What did Stoker say about the children of the night? Well, using my blood, I could create a whole army of vampires.
Surely you're joking.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Such as...
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
Yeah, see, this is finally coming back around. Our first
Please
victim
accept my condolences.
was his sister. Attend Mary's funeral.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Well, you're gonna have to. You did this to her. You know you had to. I know you had to eat, but you still have to do this because she is your sister. Yeah, that was easy. Alright, we're going the wrong way. Although I should have expected there to be a fair amount of these things, considering we're in the cemetery, so... Should have known that this wouldn't be easy, because all these jackasses around here. These little mongrel vampires. Not as worthy as I am. Still going the wrong way, aren't I? Oh, that was new. Where in the hell is the part where I'm supposed to go to? Yeah, we're getting
Since
close.
I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
How about up here? Would this suit your fancy? There, happy.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Quite a small funeral.
And whosoever
But I'm surprised you're
liveth
having
and
this
believeth
when
in
there
me
are
shall never
skulls
die.
out that way.
We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth
This must be the mother and father.
ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Very old, aren't they? Although dear sweet mother here looks like she's on her last limb.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic.
And so that's not the. I don't know if that's the father or not. Then.
Please take me home.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he like her servant or her helper or whatever? How do you feel, man? How do you feel? I know you had to eat and she was there. She was your first meal into your rebirth, but you know.
Oh, Mary. What have I done?
Yeah, I think you killed her. But who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky and she'll come back as a vampire. Maybe you did make her a vampire.
This is a nightmare.
Look at them eyes.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
How did you get here? And how did you know there's the funeral was happening here?
What brings you here?
I
Yeah.
thought you could use the company.
Oh,
I
you
am
do
so
you?
Sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young echo. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
How can I? I've destroyed my family. My poor mother. I can't even console her.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
I don't know if God wants your prayer, though. But if we go by the Catholic Church, you're now a disgrace. You're now blasphemy. Sacrilege. But you know what? Fine.
Thank you, my lady. I will.
Good. But be careful. If I found you here, others may too.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Will we even be able to go inside the church? Because, knowing what I know from things and what I've seen, the windows on that building may implode. Yeah, these new abilities make this a whole lot easier. Took out half that guy's health without even me having to touch him.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion.
Hello.
Shed your skin. Forget your old, weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Hello. Can I have your name at least?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them.
I mean, you dress nice.
As your judge and jury.
I mean, you dress nice, but I'm not a big fan of your hairstyle, by the way. You could have done better with your hair.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel. This man stung me with his faith, his crucifix. This is not good news.
Well, I mean, you're a vampire. It's one of your weaknesses, crucifix. One of the things with the clinic is closed. Open the door. Hello.
What is it that you want?
Hello, Joseph
Sorry to disturb
Larrabee.
you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength
Well.
to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is
What
shut
soul?
by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar.
Yeah, but Jonathan, what soul do you have? You're a vampire. They don't have souls.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your channel. For I can be as silent as stone.
Well,
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage.
his eyes burn red because he's a vampire. He has no human soul, man.
To lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me.
But I don't think the vampires are one of God's
Very
creatures.
well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
Well, she was murdered. It was an accident.
She has been laid to rest. That's all you need to know.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
Let's
She
be
died
honest.
because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary. Forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
This man's so calm knowing he just spoke to a murderer slash vampire.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
I need to go back and find... Did we get all of them? I guess so. I need to go back to the hospital because apparently I have to meet with Dr. Edgar Swansea again. Shittings. You would think I wouldn't be that far from the hospital since I had to go from the hospital to the cemetery, from the cemetery to the church, and now I'm going from the church back to the back to the hospital. I think this is the way to the cemetery. Yes, if I can get here, then I can get back to the hospital.
And pain are precious when binding you to the earth.
More poetry.
I remember you.
I like the poetry. Hello.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You
He has
made me.
horns or
You made
antlers.
me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You
Tell me what you are.
I am the whitened bones and blackened soil. The land made blood course through thy veins.
Thy, I like
What
that
is
word.
it you seek?
This age is sickly,
Yes.
an ancient poison, an
Yes.
older rage, brewed in a cauldron new.
Yes, it is.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Possibly.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
Iron Spur. Nice.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind?
Yeah, I mean, vampires can do that. Vampires can project themselves, I do believe, in a way, whether it be shadow form or other form. But I don't think you saw your maker in person. You just saw a little image of him that he wanted to show you. If I can make it to the cemetery, I can get back to the hospital, because I came from the hospital to here. So I can get from here, take a look at the map so I know exactly which direction I'm heading in. Okay, so and the hospital's here, so I had to go from this area, which I'm kind of going the wrong way. I need to go back. If I can get to this area here, then I can get to that, which will lead me all the way across there, back to the hospital. So we gotta go back a bit. Claycox. Okay. Alright, fine. I'll help the lady, though I didn't want to. There, happy.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back from it.
You seem to know a lot about them,
For
Sam.
now, they're
I'm
dead.
Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Shaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed.
You're
I
very
must
welcome.
go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
And just be quite careful. There's bound to be some more of them somewhere in the cemetery. I went through there and took out about half a dozen already. Alright, see where I'm heading to. Okay, we're on the right path. Go through here, down the stairs. Ever since I figured out that this game has a map, it's been so much easier on my poor brain to know where I'm heading to. Should be almost there. Okay, we're back in the Pembroke Hospital District. Cause that's the makeshift morgue. Well, I like how this area is supposed to be safe. You know, all the dangers in the surrounding areas. Well, what happened here?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but well, maybe it was him.
Interesting.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I was thinking, like, what in the world happened here? Damn. They tore this room apart.
Jonathan, my sincere condolences for your loss.
Your kindness is much appreciated, my lady.
Is there anything you require?
I spied my mother at the funeral. Have you ever revealed yourself to a member of your family?
No, Jonathan. And I'd advise you even from thinking about it.
But what if I was close to someone and wished to tell them the truth?
Fear, loathing, disgust. And then they will plead to be turned. They will see it as salvation. Then there's the risk of gaining the attention of vampire hunters.
Well, you can gain that by just sneezing around these folk.
Goodbye, my lady. Until we meet again.
Wonder if Dr. Swansea knows anything about the murder that happened within the hospital.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan.
Well, aren't you precious?
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned.
Now bugger off.
By the sacred stone, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned the
But
dead
how
patient.
quickly?
Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones.
Former Prime Minister.
I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more peaceful.
Interesting.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Well, not only you, the doctor also brought him here, you know. Put an end to Sean Hampton's savagery. Saint of the east
Sean
side,
Hampton
of the east
lives
end.
and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
But where even are the docks? I forget. All the way over here. I've been down this way before. But do I want to go all the way back there? I'm gonna have to, but we'll do it in the next one.